Well, I woke up to find out that the thermonuclear war was on hold between India and Pakistan, and then it made sense to me. Trump was using tariff pressure. He's doing business with both countries. The guy is going all over the place now. He's in the Middle East. He's putting pressure in Iran. He wants to swing by and broker the deal for peace with Putin and Vladimir. Let me tell you something. I mean this totally sincerely. You don't have to really worry about Trump messing something up. You're going to look back on this period of time and realize, and I pray it's not a contrast with a period in the future, but you're going to look back on these days and say, for a moment, we experience what it's like when you've got leadership that understands their agency and they're doing what they're really capable of doing under a canopy, dare I say, of intense, fervent, consistent global intercession. That's the thing. There's more at work here than just a man. There's prayer. Even his mistakes are working out and to the benefit of his assignment. Now, the question is, what's the assignment? The assignment for you and me is going to be different than his assignment. And perhaps we'll talk about that at another time. Right now, I've got one thing to say. In the economic instability, the Dow just shot up 1,600 points after it went down. It goes up. The market's going to be a fickle place. It's going to have its surges. It's going to have its volatility. But you know what's consistent? Two things I've learned over time that have not changed, that continue to do better and better. Gold and real estate. Real estate and gold. And the friends of mine that understand finance and understand real estate, that aren't involved as I am with the Bible and with news analysis and with traveling and ministry and conservative stuff, they've made a fortune because gold went up 70% in the last 2 to 3 years. In the last year alone, it was 45%. I'm finally bringing my own. I got a financial advisor. I said, what I got, I didn't build great wealth over these last years. I got a wealth of inheritance, you could say spiritually. But I didn't focus on money. I focused on other things. But what I've got for my retirement, I want to protect Annabelle, my kids. I want to take care of them. So we're looking at, and we're moving in IRAs, your retirement accounts. We're moving them over because the gold is going to continue to be a store of stable wealth. China's doing it. The banks in Europe are doing it. Everybody's after the gold. One guy, billionaire buddy of mine, I was just with 2 weeks ago, he's got a gold mine. And I go, that's it. I'm talking to you right now. LanceWallnau.com/gold. You can do something. Even if you got a little, you can put it where it's going to multiply. LanceWallnau.com/gold. You get a complete report on the science behind what I'm saying. But trust me, the silver is mine and the gold is mine, says the word of the Lord in Haggai chapter 2. When God shakes the heaven and the earth, he winks in the Bible and says, but the silver and the gold is mine. And I'm telling you, that's what you want to look at. All right, we're going to go into today's show, and you don't want to miss one moment of it. We'll be right there. Welcome back to the Lance Wallnau Show. This week has been amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing, people. I can't believe I went Mother's Day, my wife's birthday. I was traveling at a conservative council meeting of some sort. And when I left, the world was heading towards thermonuclear conflict between Pakistan and India. And China was going to sink the United States. And the Wall Street Journal is predicting a Great Depression. And we're going to certainly have a recession. And Trump's tariffs policies are all backfiring and nothing's working. And then I come home, I find out, Trump put some squeeze on the cheese there with Pakistan and India, and they cooled their heels. Now they're in conversation. He's got Putin talking now with Zelensky. He's on his way to Saudi Arabia after he cuts a trade, reduced tariffs for 90 days with China. China says, let's talk. He's still got a 50% tariff on them, but they dropped ours down to 10%. He's got them right where he wants them. Inflation now drops to 2.3%. The Dow surges up 1,160 points. This is all in a weekend, and he announces he's cutting pharmaceutical prices in half. And congratulations, have a good week. This is crazy. A weekend with Donald Trump. And by the way, I have to agree with this. He does best when he's out of Washington. When he's in Washington, I always get a little nervous. I pray a little extra for him because you never know what he gets a little edgy up there. It's like irritating for him. and he gets acerbic, and he says some salty things at the court, and he's throwing little grenades at the Supreme Court, and it's like, you don't do this stuff normally when you're, but when he gets on the road, it's like that's when he flows. He's traveling. He's doing this. Oh, he's going to stop by Zelensky and Putin. He's going to drop in and have lunch over there in Turkey if it can help. He does the best deals when he's out on the road, being a celebrity deal maker. I'm telling you, that's what energizes him. I've seen it happen in meetings. Welcome to the show today, Mercedes. How are you?
I'm doing great, Lance. How are you?
I'm on a roll today because I got this great news from Saudi Arabia. Then I wake up to Saudi Arabia. Trump is in Saudi. Do we have anything on Saudi Arabia here? You got some footage on that yet? The president, I'm looking at this room today. I looked at the live coverage of him talking in Saudi Arabia with Mohammed bin Salman. Boy, do they do it right. They all have these big, cushy, comfortable chairs and these tables next. The whole place is like executive suite chairs. And it's thousands of people in this meeting with this chandeliers. And they're going to go look at the city with buildings like you've never seen. I tell you what, Saudi Arabia and Mohammed bin Salman, here's what I thought. You want to know? I had a weird thought. This is the kind of way my brain works. I'm looking at all that, and I had two thoughts. I shouldn't share with you everything I think because there's a reason why, people don't do that. I'm going to tell you, I'm thinking, how close are we to the end times? How close are we to the end? I believe we're there, people. I really do. I may not see the wrap-up in my lifetime. But I don't think the Earth can tolerate with nuclear proliferation as close as we came to going over a cliff. Had it not been for Trump, if it comes down like 1 million votes in the United States, I mean, my gosh, can you imagine if we had Kamala Harris leading the nation into a Great Depression?
Yeah.
Communist China taking over the world. Why do you think Trump went and grabbed Panama Canal and is talking about Greenland and Canada? He's building a hemispheric defense because the Arctic opening up there allows Russia and China to come right off the coast of New York with a nuclear sub. I mean, it's a different world without having the right leadership. And boy, what a difference. Anyway, here's what I was thinking. How much you want to bet the Antichrist is alive right now? I mean, it makes sense. I think we're talking like a 40-year wrap-up in history, 30-year. I mean, we got nuclear. By the way, China's building a nuclear deliverable weapon every week. How's that for, their assembly line? It only takes one. Iran is 9 days, according to Joel Rosenberg, 9 days away from achieving the fusion level capable of having a nuclear weapon. Trump is giving them 90 days, 3 months. They're about a week or two away from having the weapon. Still, what am I saying? What if the Antichrist is in that room? I mean, think about this. You got 1,500, 2,000 of the Middle East, sophisticated, crossover into Europe and English-speaking world, charismatic principalities, literal princes that are in there. And the Bible does describe this individual as rising up with a small people. He could be from Qatar. He could be one of the delegates from Qatar right now. But he's in the room. And I'm telling you, it just made me stop and think, wow. Then you look at Mohammed bin Salman. He's a Cyrus type, unless he is like the Antichrist. But there's a charismatic, good-looking, articulate figure who can speak English, schmooze with Trump, schmooze with Prince Charles, deal with Xi, deal with Putin, and Saudi Arabia, if it gets the military support it needs from the United States, can become and if we have to strike Iran, which Iran's not going to buckle. I mean, it's like North Korea. Their only chip they've got for their own survival is to have a nuclear weapon. They got to have it, and they're crazy. Crazy fanatics within earshot, within reach of a nuclear weapon. You're not going to discuss it with them and say, wait, don't do that. They're going to do it. You're dealing with demonic stuff. So Trump's got to take them out. If Iran is taken out militarily, like Syria in its instability, Iran in its instability, I'm just saying. You're with me. I'm just speculating. I'm not giving you a prophecy. But what if that region destabilizes to the point where it re-solidifies around a kind of charismatic figure caliphate with a Western orientation on business who says we need to have peace, not conflict? I guarantee they will flock to that Arab leader.
Have you seen that guy on social media, the Mahdi? That they say the Mahdi has emerged, and he's like all over social media, but doing things like that, like claiming like peace and trying to unify different religions. So I don't know if it's trending on your For You page, but it's all over.
Well, I'll
mine.
tell you, because of my superior grasp of the granular specificity of prophecy, he arises secretly, which means he will not be coming out with an Instagram handle saying, "Hey, it's me, I'm here."
But no, I think it's kind of like that. He's kind of like been in the shadows.
Yeah. No.
People are like video.
Listen, this cat's gonna come along. Really, it's going to be like Hitler when he's, with what's his name, the chancellor there.
I'll show you on the break. I'll show you a video on the break, and then you could let me know. He wears like this black beanie all the time. So, but it's fascinating. No, they said he just healed somebody too. Like I'm just letting you know.
Somebody.
Just saying.
All right, look,
it's out there. It's trying to go along with your rabbit trail here.
And you're not talking about the new pope.
No, I'm not. Oh my gosh, Lance. No, we're not talking about
Well, you said wearing a beanie. What do I know?
No, he's like a little
TikTok
black
generation.
like a little
I don't know
black,
that you're paying attention.
It's like a ski, like the little ski hat type of a thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like little black.
Yeah. It's sure.
I'm a millennial, so I call it a beanie, whatever you call
But
it.
the point that I'm making is, and I'm going to get back to the point that I'm making, is that Donald Trump he's not doing a political trip. Of course he is. He's reunifying and consolidating the Middle East alliance. This is the Abraham Accords 2.0, but he's leaving he's leaving Israel out. But what's he bringing in? All the Jewish business guys. This is hilarious. You're dealing with Muslims. You're dealing with Arabs. You're dealing with Arab Muslims. And who does the American Trump alone can do this? He brings with him Sam Altman, Jew. BlackRock's Larry Fink, Jew. He's bringing all the Jewish finance and money and innovators and tech people. And there's Elon over there, God bless him. And he's got Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, IBM. What nation do you think this is? Arvind Krishna. It's got to be Hindu.
Oh gosh.
Think so?
I don't know.
Find out. Prove me wrong, Krishna. Citicorp's Jane Fraser, Boeing's Kelly Ortberg, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, Palantir's Alex Karp. What am I reading to you? I'm not reading to you the typical Democrat bench of, the Pelosi's and the senators and the this and that. Well, you know what we got here? The business tycoons. What's fascinating to me is these guys, but Larry Fink, with BlackRock, he's the ESG guy. He's the DEI guy. And Trump is saying, hey, Larry, that's not good for business. And Larry goes, you're right, Mr. President. Trump, what I love about Trump is he takes his potential enemies, he lines them up with what he wants to do, and then he invites them into the deal. He says, come on, let's do business. I'm telling you, there's no end. The Democrats don't have a business-oriented figure like this. They're raised in politics, banking, and law. Banking and law. That's where the political class comes from. The credential class. Harvard, Yale, banking, law. Then along comes Trump, dealer, business, Queens. He's playing with a slingshot, people. These guys don't have, and he's even making his adversaries line up to do business with him. And here's the funny thing about this. The guy that wrote the book, The Lexus and the Olive Branch, what's his name? Someone will tell me who that is.
What was it? The what?
The Lexus and the Olive Branch.
The Lexus and the Olive?
And the Olive Tree. The Alexis and the Olive Tree.
There we go.
Thomas Friedman. Thank you, my son Carl. I knew he'd have it. Thomas Friedman said, no two nations with a McDonald's franchise ever went to war with each other. Well, with the exception maybe of Russia and Ukraine. But the statement's true. No two nations that have a McDonald's franchise go to war. What was really the proverb? No two nations that have great business partnership will destroy each other because they have mutual financial interests. And you know what I'm talking about is true. Trump is building. What I love about this, he's going to go to this Arab nation, the Arab Emirates, then Qatar. He's going to be over here. He's going to be in Saudi. What's he doing? Every country he goes to, This is the protocol. They got to come up with $100 billion deal. At least $100 billion. What do you do with a prince when Prince Trump comes into the tent? Prince Faisal has to have something he's going to do as a business deal. So they're all outdoing each other with $100 million here. We'll do $1 trillion over 10 years. And the Arabs, don't get me wrong, man. You think Jewish people are good business people? The Arabs, shrewd when it comes to this stuff. So they're dealing with Trump, though. Trump's a different animal, and they like dealing with him because he's projecting power. And he's in there telling them, well, last time I was here, I said we got to get rid of the crazies, right? We got to get rid of the fanatics. No room for the fanatics. And they're all nodding. He's talking about the jihadists, the Muslim extremism. No room for the Hezbollahs. No room for the Hamases. No room for this. And they're all going, yes, yes, yes. He says, we're going to use our power to do good. That's the king among those kings. We'll be right back.
We're entering a period of time that has increased hostility against people of faith. It's a time when Christians are going to be tested on a moral, physical, psychological, and even a financial basis. I'm here to remind you that God is the one who has blessed you thus far, and He will take care of you in the future. You have a divine responsibility, however, to see trouble and prepare yourself. For example, with record inflation eating away at the value of the U.S. dollar, the savings in your retirement account is in danger of slipping away. I recommend diversifying your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Now that includes no penalties, there's no taxes when you transfer current retirement funds into Birch Gold. To see how it works, I want you to go to lancewallnau.com/Birch and get your free info kit, and you'll be glad that you did.
I'm having too much fun today. Oh, the Wall Street Journal and the MSNBC. Oh, the old PBS. They're all like prophesying Trump's tariffs, destroying America. Trump. The Dow closes up 1,160 points. Why? Because they're talking. They're just talking. China is agreeing to talk. That's all. The stock market is so girlish. So, I don't mean to be sexist about this, but I mean like a woo, like that, like yippee. And instead of like masculine and hold your steady, you know, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. You're going to see these vicissitudes. My gosh, Trump is in office. What do you think's happening? It's going to be like this for the rest of his term. But whoa, what is he doing? But I love the fact that the Wall Street Journal, those putzes prophesying false prophets. Trump's going to drive us over a cliff. Breaking and actually play the. I know I got a clip here. Play the China deal. You know you got the guy that's talking there from on Getter. Yeah, video 4. Play video 4 real quick. I want you to catch what's going on with China.
Which, by the way, we still have the 50% tariffs on China. And this still doesn't even count.
Explain that for a second, because I think there's some misinterpretation about the 10% going on the 90 days. Let's talk about the reality, that the hand that President Trump's playing and the cards he's playing very smart. Number one, we have 50% tariff basically on China, on their goods.
Correct. So it's the 20% that are from the first term.
From first term, which Biden couldn't even take off.
Exactly.
And now we know the atrophy. We'll get into this later, but how Biden, these guys even the Chinese said, we don't know what happened. These guys couldn't even talk to him. That 20.
Plus the 20, the fentanyl.
The fentanyl
tariff.
20.
Yep. Plus then the 10% that we talked about, the universal baseline tariff. So it's 50% on them, 10% that they have on us. So right away, the president got them to take theirs way down. Still, this does not even count the tariffs on strategic industries, whether it be semiconductors or automobiles or steel and aluminum, or as we start talking about pharmaceuticals. So when we talk about what's the shift, the tectonic plate shift of what's already happening for not just jobs coming back to the U.S., not just foreign investment coming to the U.S., but also think about all the jobs and industries that have moved away from China, whether they're going to other Southeast Asian countries or they're going to India. You think of what's happening with Apple, for example. The shift is starting to happen. What Secretary Bessent said with his strategic decoupling is exactly what it is.
A strategic decoupling. Well, we got to decouple from dependency on China. We have to, because we're feeding the beast that will devour us. Mm-hmm. They haven't kept one single commitment that they made to Trump in his first administration. And they're sending the same guy over to negotiate the second time. I think we're smarter now. Trump wants stability for Wall Street's sake. He wants stability for Main Street. He wants stability. But he is depriving China of the Panama Canal. He's depriving them of dominance in the region economically. He recognizes, like right now, imagine, it's like Game of Thrones. Remember when those dragons were small? They're little cute little dragons. They could hardly breathe out fire. They were like little bursts of flame, and it was it. Well, then you have a big eagle fighting that dragon. You could take it out, but at a certain point, the eagle's no match for the dragon. This dragon, eventually in history, it's interesting. In Revelation chapter 12, the Bible refers to the dragon with the 7 heads and 10 horns or something like that. You have a figure of the dragon. Who knows if it isn't China in a global power play? But right now is not the time. I'm a student of history. I got 3 Bibles on my desk here. This makes me 3 times more spiritual. No, that's not true. But I got 3 Bibles because I read them. I read the different translations. And right now we're in the time of the 3rd Great Awakening. It's a period of God's outpouring, and I don't want to ever lose sight on a Sunday morning especially, where some of these broadcasts will be played, others you'll see them at other times, that we have to see what is God doing. What God is doing is he's creating an alliance with Saudi Arabia, with Mohammed bin Salman, with Donald Trump, with Milei in Argentina, with Bukele in El Salvador, with Viktor Orban in Eastern Europe. And Trump right now is anointed with an Isaiah 45 mantle, as these other men are, as Cyrus rulers, as the Bible refers to them like. They're different rulers. They come in for the sake of their nation. And Trump represents that now, no matter what they say. So he comes along. I want you to hear... I think I was going to play this one first. And then he drops by slashing drug prices up to 80%. I mean, this guy, this is what leadership, action, and agency does. It's amazing. All right, play Carolyn Levitt's. Go ahead and play this video, cut 6.
First of all, it cannot be overstated how big of a deal this executive order that President Trump will be signing in a couple of hours is for American families, and especially our seniors who have been ripped off by very large and rich pharmaceutical companies. The United States of America is less than 5% of the world's population, yet we purchase 75% of Big Pharma's profits. We pay an astronomical amount in comparison to other countries around the world. So the president is signing an executive order today that is going to implement most favored nations drug pricing and is going to reduce the cost of drugs in this country by more than half at least. America is going to pay a better rate and a fairer rate to the rest of the world. That's what the American people deserve. This is huge news. And also, I will add, we know that healthcare costs and drug prices were the #1 driver of Biden inflation. So not only are we bringing those down, but we are ending Biden inflation once and for all.
Mercedes, did I hear you say 75% of the world's pharmaceuticals are consumed by Americans?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I heard that earlier when we were playing the clip. I thought, oh my goodness, what does that say about Americans? What does that say about, medical crisis and or the spiritual warfare around really having a medical issue? So like we were talking about earlier, how much of it's here? Is it really there? Are we just all medicated and on drugs?
For real. I mean, it makes you wonder because are we a nation of hypochondriacs? That we got 75%? It's not like our mortality rate is, different. It's like we're dying younger or living longer. So what is, huh? It's worse. My son Carl says it's worse. All right, well, listen. You got to watch this. You got to see this. So Donald Trump, when he's off script, is going to explain about the medical situation. But he's going to go full tilt, Donald Trump from Queens, New York, to explain the cost difference. And he's trying to make a point. And the point is the cost of a single injection in Europe is like $70. In the United States, it's $1,700. That's the point. But getting there, he's talking about his friend who's taking the fat pill or the fat shot. They call it the the fat injection. And then he makes the comment, and it's not working for this other guy. Anyway, watch Trump in his element. And he's not trying to be funny. He's just being himself.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman. Seriously overweight. And he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up and he said, President, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. Said, President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on?
Well, if you're Trump's friend and you're neurotic and you're taking the fat pill, the fat shot, and it's not working. It's so New York. See, I was born in Long Island. My mother's from New York. I don't know. Maybe it's why I have a sweet spot for Trump. That's New Yorkers. It's not working. Hey, President. He calls him President, and it's a sign of respect. Not even Mr. President. Hey, President. He used to call me Donald. That's a sign of respect.
Well, and people are wondering who it is. Like, a lot of people think it's Elon, and then some other people are saying Robert Kiyosaki. And so you're like, well, who is it? Who's the really neurotic business guy that's overweight taking the fat shot? Like, I want to know. Who could it be?
Well, I don't think it's either of those guys, because this sounds to me like a New Yorker. This is a New Yorker talking to a New Yorker. Taking a fat shot over here. Trump unveils the new UK trade deal. Of course, I skipped over that. You don't care. You guys aren't into those details. But the fact is, he's hustling business day and night and day. This guy's doing deals. He's trying to get the money in. Why is he doing that? I listened to Victor David Hansen talk about how Trump sabotaged the elections. The conservative was winning in Canada. It's so sad. I don't know why I'm laughing. The conservative, Pilleville, whatever his name is, Pilleville, he was winning in Canada, ideologically on the same page as us. Then Trump starts yakking about the 51st state, and he doesn't stop. Hey, I think it would be cheaper for them. It'd be better for them, better for us, 51st state. We don't need anything they got. And he inspired this nationalism that caused the conservative guy to have to turn against Trump in order to even have a hope of getting elected. It swallowed up his lead. Here's Hansen's theory. The guy they elected as Prime Minister of Canada doesn't even live in Canada. He was actually working for the Bank of Britain or something. He was over in England. He's a citizen of 3 nations. And Hansen's theory is this. Trump wants to go to war with Canada economically. He doesn't want to do it with a nice guy that's a conservative. It'd be hard to get in the battle. He's going to get in with a conservative that he agrees with on everything. It'll be much better for him if he has to deal with somebody he has nothing in common with. So we'd rather have a leftist like Trudeau, because then he can go to battle. But it'd be uncomfortable to do it with an ideological friend. There you have it. Hansen's theory on Trump's mentality. Trump knew what he was doing. He said, for 4 years, I'm gonna have a battle with these people. I need someone I don't like. Well, it's hard to believe we're out of time, but we're going to be back tomorrow because I'm only in the middle of a thought right now. I've got a thought and I'm in the middle of it. By the way, I got a letter I'm putting out once a month. It's my own personal letter. You want to go to lancewallnau.com/letter. Can't make it easier than that. Lance Wallnau, WALLNAU.com/letter. Because every month I put out a letter, and it's what I call the big thought. The big thought this month, going to give you a preview. Warren Buffett and Gates were both asked one question. They were asked in a panel, give us a word that describes the key to success for you. They both had a piece of paper and wrote down one word. To the shock of the audience, they flipped the card over. They had the same word. What was the word? The word was focus. Focus. So I want to talk this month in a letter about the power of a heaven focus. And with that thought, lancewallnau.com/letter. We'll be in touch, and you'll be able to get my free update. We'll see you tomorrow.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate